Christmas time at the Perna household means one thing. Round-the-clock Christmas NFL mashups. Songs, if you will. Matt Stafford, I gave you my heart, but the very next play you threw it away. And that's one of the better ones. Welcome back to a special end-of-the-year edition of Odd Man Sports. Today, we're handing out the Odd Man Awards, celebration of all the oddest men and women from this past year in sports. I'm your award show host, King of Odd Mans, Brandon Perna. And if this show provided you with some laughs during this dreary year, please take a moment to support the show by liking and subscribing if you haven't already. And make sure to stick around till the end when I'll announce the winner of the first annual Odd Man of the Year award, a concept I'm borrowing from Time magazine. This year, Time named Olympian Simone Biles as its Athlete of the Year, which surprised some people. Biles, of course, is the American gymnast who helped shine a light on mental health issues after she withdrew from the Tokyo Olympics because she was experiencing something called the twisties. Now, personally, I'm a big supporter of Simone Biles receiving this recognition, not because I care about women's gymnastics or even athlete mental health, really, but if we're going to start handing out awards to people who got twisted and withdrawn, you're potentially looking at the next Michael Phelps. All right, on to the awards. Tony, play that royalty-free award show music we discussed. All right, here we go. And since 'tis the season of giving, the first category of the first Odd Man Sports Awards is Oddest Gift. And there really was only one possible recipient of this award, Utah Jazz guard Donovan Mitchell, who gifted a whopping $12 million to his elementary school. Now, a rich athlete giving a large sum of money to his former school isn't particularly odd, except in this case, the school Mitchell attended, Greenwich County Day, which is the ritziest private elementary school in Greenwich, Connecticut. One of the richest towns in America. That's right, of all the down and out people in the world, he could have lifted up starving children, homeless veterans, the wrongly imprisoned. Donovan Mitchell earmarked $12 million of his dollars for these Chads and Brads. And according to reports, Greenwich County Day has an endowment of over $36 million. And while his intentions may have been pure, the last group who needs any more help is the well-endowed. They say there is no better investment than in the life of a child, or as Donovan Mitchell sees it, in the life of a child of an investment banker. The next award I'm handing out is one you won't see much during the award season. Oddest NBA Pronunciation. Now, you probably think this category involves someone's mangled attempt at pronouncing the name of an international NBA player, like Bob Ryan attempting to say Giannis's last name. This category actually spotlights the oddest pronunciation, not of an NBA player's name, but of a regular word by an NBA player. Now, if we had this show last year, this award would absolutely have gone to Kevin Garnett for his interesting approach in the face of the word equivalent.
I never know where it's gonna go. Okay, here we go. Kinda like naming NFL equivalent for each NBA player.
Pretty sure that's not how you say that, but the 2021 winner of the award for oddest pronunciation by an NBA player is the King, LeBron James. And here was his attempt at saying systemic or systematic racism. I'm still not sure which.
To be able to use the NBA platform and us be able to go out there and speak about systemic racism.
Next up, another one you won't see at the ESPYs, the award for oddest thing Jackie McMullen said on the Bill Simmons podcast. Now, before we look at the nominees, I'd be remiss to mention that Jackie McMullen, who retired from ESPN earlier this year, had a long and illustrious career as an NBA writer and talking head. Not to mention, she was a trailblazer for women in sports media. But maybe, Jackie, it's not the best idea to appear as an analyst on the biggest NBA podcast in the world if, you don't watch NBA games. Which brings us to nominee number 1 for Oddest Thing Jackie Said on the pod, in which she guesses how many games one of the brightest stars in the league, the injured Zion Williamson, has played in his career.
Do you know how many games Zion has played? What do you think off the top of your head? How many NBA games?
25 or something? Maybe more, a little more.
Yeah, 85 total.
And 15 minutes later, during the same December 14th appearance, here she was on John Wall, who, and I don't need to tell you this, hasn't played a single game this year.
If I told you in the summer, hey, Bill, by the time we get to Christmas, neither Ben Simmons or Kyrie Irving will have played a game. And that John Wall would have played, I don't know, how many games has John Wall played? 20 or something. I don't know.
Not great, but for the winner of the Oddest Things Jackie Mack Said on the Simmons podcast, those two things don't hold a candle to this moment. From back in January, during a discussion about Giannis's hesitancy to demand the ball at the end of the games.
Think about the last possession. Chris Middleton in the corner doubled, and Giannis isn't even in your screen. I don't have one of those huge TVs that you guys all have. He wasn't even in my screen.
Honest question, does Jackie McMullen think a bigger TV means there's more stuff on the screen? Because it sure seems like she does. And another honest question, does Bill Simmons know you can edit this stuff, out of the podcast? Because it sure seems like he doesn't. The next award in this program, Oddest Exchange. Now, we had some strong candidates this year, including unlikely DMs between the greatest basketball player on the planet, Kevin Durant, and Michael Rappaport. And this delightful back and forth between Anthony Edwards and a reporter.
That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah, you were the best player on your team.
Is that now we talking?
You could hit the ball.
But I was 4th, 5th hitter. You know what that mean?
Clean up. Yeah.
Straight cleanup on aisle 3.
But, hands down, the winner for Oddest Exchange goes to Patriots owner Robert Kraft and Tom Brady during the Buccaneers trip to Foxborough, which forced me to ask something I'd never considered. Were these two fucking?
Hey, handsome. How you doing?
I like you.
Do ya?
Yeah.
Nice and short? How you doing? Nice you too.
Yeah.
Look good as always.
I'm proud of you.
Thanks.
The next award, Oddest Choice. And again, a lot of great nominees to consider, including Kyle Kuzma's decision to wear this sweater before a game, and Michelob Ultra preparing with Brooks Koepka to offer free beer to fans who stalked and trolled Bryson on the golf course. An odd decision, but not as odd as the decision by this year's winner, the designer who decided to give Mrs. Met an absolute badonkadonk ass. In an era in which female athletes fight tooth and nail every day to desexualize and legitimize their place in the sports world, this costume designer made the bold decision to go against the current. Norwegian handball players are successfully petitioning to wear less skimpy uniforms. Space Jam's Lola Bunny evolved over 25 years from this to this. Meanwhile, Miss Met all of a sudden is carrying around an absolute dump truck. Now, as the father of a daughter, I won't say whether I'm pro or anti the decision to stuff more junk in Mrs. Met's trunk, but I will tell you, one person who doesn't appear to have a problem with it, Mr. Met. Oh, Mr. Met likes it. Which brings us to the culmination of our show and our final award, Odd. Man of the Year. And without further ado, it's time. The winner of 2021's Odd Man of the Year goes to Gavin Adcock. For those who missed this, Adcock was the Georgia Southern senior nose tackle who went viral after being filmed atop the team bus, chugging a beer while en route to their game against Arkansas State. The only way this could have been better is if he did all this while bending over Mrs. Met. Not surprisingly, the Georgia Southern coaches failed to see the beauty in Adcock's performance art, suspending him for the following game. A small price to pay to the party gods. So how did Adcock respond to this decision? By posting this on his Snapchat. Only got suspended one game, we back in action. Georgia Southern said, sometimes you gotta let your cock out. Which I'm pretty sure isn't what they said, because Georgia Southern responded to this by booting him off the team. Said head coach Kevin Whitley, I felt I had no other choice but to remove him from the team. Gavin's been an excellent kid during my time here, but we have team policies. Which is odd, because I've read the Georgia Southern football team rule book cover to cover. And nowhere does it say anything about chugging beers on a bus before a game. And while Adcock wasn't able to finish his senior season on the team, I hope it's some consolation that he finishes the year as this year's Odd Man Sports Odd Man of the Year. All right, that's it for today's show. And a big thank you to the Odd Man audience for tuning in every week. Please take a moment to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see you all in 2022. Odd Man Sports.
It's in the game.